Welcome to the Islands audio series. Off the Path in Curacao by Matthew Miller.
Amy curses behind me. I turn and see her half concealed in dead plants, her blue cotton dress caught in the bushes. Blood trickles down her bare shin. "I don't understand how you got over there," she says. "There's no trail here. Picking my way through the thorn bushes and cactuses had put me in a trance. Now I notice a prickly pear bulb lodged in my calf. I've lost a snorkel fin somewhere. The ocean we're outfitted for we haven't seen in an hour, and somehow we've entered that storybook wasteland used to scare children into sedentary professions. Unfiltered sun ricochets off jagged rocks jutting from desiccated desert bramble. It's perfect. "I probably should have mentioned," I say as I thrash my way back to Amy, recovering the fallen fin and pulling her dress free. "I sort of enjoy suffering." This is our first trip together. I promised her adventure. She gives me a look I take to mean, "Get me out of here so I can stop being friends with you." Adventurer Ryan de Jong had told us the Blue Room was the one spot we had to see in Curacao. Ryan grew up here, and he trains for trans-Caribbean kayak voyages by paddling laps around the island. "It's not on many tours," he said. "You have to swim in." Those are the notes I listen for. Little visited, super cool. So we rented a car, drove to the West End, wound down a dirt track to a locked gate, backtracked to Boca Santa Cruz, and finally landed at the beach bar/construction site known as Let's Go Watersports. Ryan told us to find Captain Goodlife. The deep tan and the faraway look in his eyes gave him away. "Don't go today," the captain advised. "It's too hot out there, and the trail is overgrown. I'll rent you a kayak tomorrow morning, 15 minutes paddling, no problem, man." "But we want to walk there, today," I repeated. Amy wore the patient expression that suggests impatience. "There's the trail," the captain pointed past his last concrete platform, future site of a nude sunning deck. "The first 5 minutes are easy." The first 5 minutes ended 2 hours ago. Now we push on through the scrub, scraped up and heat-stricken, and stagger onto a well-kept dirt road. We follow it 10 easy minutes back to a black pebble beach, Santo Pretu, which we'd ignored marching the other way. It's lovely, but it's not why we came. It's too late to keep searching today, so we swim, lie on the beach, and watch the sun come down between Curaçao's dark shoulders of layered rock. This secluded place should be ideal enough, ample reward for a trip to Curaçao and the sting of saltwater in open wounds, but I want to see the Blue Room. It's mid-afternoon the next day when Captain Goodlife gives a told-you-so nod toward his battered kayaks and duct-taped paddles. We take the seaworthiest tandem and paddle through the maze of inshore reefs past the salvaged cruise ship lifeboat the captain uses as a dive boat. Amazingly, Amy has agreed to join me for a new attempt, this time by sea. Rounding the bluff, we pass yesterday's Pebble Beach. Captain Goodlife told us to look for the black third buoy and a shrine to the Virgin Mary set in the rock. Past Boca Pescado, as far as we reached on foot yesterday, we find the third buoy. It's black, but there's no sign of a cave. A starburst pattern in the rock looks like Mary's halo if I squint. I'm about to dive under the cliff to explore when we spot a zodiac full of divers tying off to something farther on. Coming abreast, we can clearly see the arch of the cave entrance, waves lapping at its edges. A plastic statuette of the Virgin occupies a niche in the cliff. We tie off, ship the paddles, and slide into the water. I carry my camera above my head in a dry bag. Amy has my 3-pound tripod in a giant Ziploc bag. It's possible to keep one arm out of the water and kick backward toward the shore, but that arm gets heavy. "I feel like I'm going to drown," Amy says matter-of-factly. I want to tell her how good she looks with only her scarred shins and her face above water, how, if she survives, I'll take her on more adventures. But this may not be the best time. "Drop the tripod if you have to," I offer. She doesn't. We make it to the cliff and set the gear on a ledge by the cave. The divers swim out as we swim in. There's just room under the entrance arch to float the dry bags and breathe. Inside, the cavern opens 50 feet across, with a deep blue-green pool lit from below and a vaulted dome of black rock. A school of silvery fish flows in ribbons through mushroom-shaped underwater stone formations. Amy, already out of the water, sits on the damp ledge, glowing in aquamarine light, and smiling at me. Beautiful, she says, another matter of fact. We spend an hour in the cave, and no one comes. The sun outside angles in as it sinks toward the horizon, the shades of blue shifting as the swell rises and falls in the cave mouth. We feel the pressure rise and fall in our ears as if we're inside the beating blue heart of Curacao. A motorboat approaches outside, Captain Goodlife coming to check on us. He leaves again, but we're running out of daylight. Warm with fatigue, we sink back into the cool water, and I get that feeling again. Better yet, I can see Amy feels it too, her face bright. The electric thrill runs through us as we swim out under the arch of rock, past the school of fish now fanned across the entryway and backlit by the setting sun. Billowing silver curtains part to let us through.
For more Islands audio series, log on to islands.com/audio.